Hey besties, welcome or welcome back. Today we are going to take Dollar Tree leaves and make some beautiful DIYs. I can't wait to show you. I got this leaf garland, I guess it is, from Dollar Tree, and then these two signs from the Dollar Tree. They were from the coastal time. And I'm just going to take my little cutter from Amazon. It's in my Amazon store if you are interested, as are all of my favorite Amazon tools. And there's always a link in the description box below. And I'm just going to score this like 4 or 5 times, and it breaks super easily. And I just used my square ruler to hold it straight, and then I cut a second one to match. I'm going to turn it over and hot glue a piece of a paint stir stick to the back, and that is going to be a great way to adhere them. I'm going to use this Bajas Buff. It's like a cream colored chalk paint from Amy Howard at Home, and it's a really nice color. And I'm not going to do like a full coverage because I want it to look like it's distressed. I'm going to take this walnut colored furniture marker from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to kind of draw like branches as if they're coming off of a tree, but you don't see the tree trunk. I looked at a picture so that I had something to kind of go on, because I'm not really good at drawing without looking at a picture. So if you're going to do this, just find a picture or use mine and just draw like some branches and little sticks that come off of them. Because what we're going to do is take the leaves that I had, and we are going to attach them right on to the branches there. You'll see in just a second. Right now I'm thickening up the branches just a little bit to make it look more realistic. Now I'm going to take these leaves. I had already taken them off that little garland. I snipped them off, and I'm just going to hot glue them right on to different parts of the branches. Like, not every branch has a leaf on it, but because I left some blank, but I just love how this is looking. It's so pretty. I'm going to darken in the branches with that little black marker. I felt like they were too light. And I've got these rub-on letters from Dollar Tree, and I'm just showing you the last one I did. I started at the far end, and a couple of them didn't stick on well, so I'm going to take that black marker and just kind of fill it in a little bit and make sure. These are really easy to put on. You just scratch them with your finger even. It's super, super easy. Standing underneath. And honestly, that's it, except that it needs a hanger. I also am going to dry that ink because I am known to kind of smear ink, so I like to try to dry it just to be safe. So there's a little tip for you if you're like me. The lights. And then I'm just going to put some rope on the back and then put some masking tape over it with the hot glue like I usually do for my hangers. And that's all you have to do for this one. It's super easy. You could frame it if you wanted to. I decided not to. I just kind of like the look of the wood. And I think it's just going to be so pretty for fall. I think you could even stand this up on a shelf, or you could hang it on the wall, whatever you like. I just know I love it. Maybe even in the center of a large wreath. Let me know what you think. I think it's so, so cute. And that was a very, very easy DIY to do. And those Dollar Tree leaves are the best. Standing underneath the lights. Got the Dollar Tree leaves, and I've got a little like mason type jar, but it has a little pattern on the side. And I'm also going to use some Mod Podge. I'm going to put the Mod Podge on the inside of this jar. And then I'm going to pick about 3 or 4 different leaves, that I like, different shapes and colors. And slowly I'm going to attach them on the inside with more Mod Podge. It's a little tricky because I couldn't get my hand in there very well, but I used a paintbrush and kind of like pushed them on with some more Mod Podge. There's not much to this as far as you just have to load it up with the Mod Podge, and it does take a really long time to dry. So if you're going to make this, give yourself a few days for the whole thing to dry. It took a little while, like I said, because you got to lay it on pretty thick just to get that leaf to lay down on the inside of the glass. Thankfully, the Mod Podge eventually does dry clear. It takes a while, but once you've got it, you can see through the glass. I'm going to take my heat tool from Amazon. I'm just going to try to dry it. I honestly, it just didn't help that much. I took a little like brush and went inside and scooped up some of the wet stuff, and that helped a little. So there it is. It's still drying, as you can see, but I can move on now. It's been a couple days. And I'm going to take this berry garland that I got. This one I got at Hobby Lobby, but they also have it at Dollar Tree. I'm going to put a little hot glue, and I'm going to start hot gluing it around that rim of the jar. And what I'll do is I'll put it all the way around a couple times, then I'll cut it off and attach it. Then I'll cut another piece so that the berries don't just overlap with each other. I wanted them to fill in on those gaps between. And I guess they're the same space all the way around, so that's why they don't naturally do that. I'm also going to take some Dollar Tree twine, and I'm going to fill in kind of those gaps around that, the rim of the jar where there's nothing. I just wanted to kind of cover that a lot more. So I'll go around, glue it periodically until I cover up most of that rim except for the little berries. Of course, I want those to show.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes.
You don't have to do the twine if you don't want to. I just decided I liked the look of it. Obviously, you could do whatever you want. You could even do a colored yarn. That might be really pretty too, like an orange or kind of a yellowish yarn. I think that would be beautiful for fall. If you are enjoying my video and want to see even more content from me, I would invite you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you'll know whenever I have a new video out. Once I have that on, I'm just going to kind of make sure everything is sitting the way I like it. And that's it. I'm going to put in some fairy lights, and this thing turned out beautiful. And what an easy little project to do. I just think it's beautiful. This would look so pretty anywhere in your home, and I absolutely love this one.
Standing underneath the lights.
Bestie, if you're like me and you were nervous to use power tools, I am going to highly recommend this class that my friend Leonette from DIY Beauty on Purpose has put together. I took her class and I am feeling so much more comfortable using power tools. I already had some, but I was not using them very much and just feeling intimidated and not sure if I was going to be safe or not. And her class covers all that in such a good way. I feel so much more comfortable. So thank you, Leonette, for doing this class. It's so affordable too. It's like barely anything to do this class and you will get so much out of it. I definitely have the link in the description box if you're interested. This is not sponsored. I just want to let you know because I really enjoyed this class and I know you will too. For this Dollar Tree leaf DIY, I've got those little leaves in my little baggie that I keep them in. And then these other leaves, I can't remember if they're from Dollar Tree or not, but I think they were. Anyway, I've got this burlap roll from Walmart, and I'm going to make a table runner out of this. I just think this is going to be beautiful. So I kind of figured how long I wanted it to be based on my table, and I went ahead and cut off a little bit more than that. And then I'm just going to hot glue on both of the ends like a seam just to kind of make the end finish. And I'm going to do a little tip that one of my sweet viewers told me: when you are using like burlap and hot glue and something like that, put a piece of wax paper underneath and then it won't get stuck to the table. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's genius. Thank you so much. I love when you guys give me tips, so please keep doing it. And thank you to that person. You know who you are. And I really appreciated it. And look, I'm doing it. It worked. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and put a little hem there as well. If you are enjoying this video, I would ask that you would hit the like button because it really does help my channel grow. So thank you. Once I have my hems, I'm going to keep that wax paper underneath wherever I'm going to glue the leaves. I'm going to cut off little leaves individually from both the ones that are on that pick and then the ones I already had cut off in the bag. But I'm going to do the whole thing first with those kind of beige-ish color leaves. I think they are gorgeous, and I'm going to use the colored ones more as an accent. So I cut off, the stems and everything, and I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back, the spine of the leaf, and I'm just going to start arranging them. So what I've done is on the one side, the leaves will kind of be facing out, and then I'll mix them all up in the middle, and when I get to the other side, I'll have that end facing out as well. So there's about half of it done. Look how beautiful that is. I just am loving this. And then there's little gaps here and there where you can see the burlap, and that's where I decided to put the colored leaves. And I think that it just worked out so well. So I'm going to cut some of these different leaves off. Some I already had cut out and some I needed to cut. And I was looking for certain colors. So that's the thing here. And I didn't want to put the little berries in. So I just looked for those gaps where you can see a little bit of the burlap. And I hot glued those leaves right inside there. So they're just kind of peeking out. And it is like the most gorgeous accent. I think this is going to just be gorgeous for my fall table. Obviously, I'm not ready to put it up quite yet, but I cannot wait. I'm ready for this one now. It doesn't matter how many of the colored ones you put in. I literally am just doing them wherever there's burlap showing. You could do a pattern if you wanted, whatever you want.
Underneath the lights.
There it is. I think this turned out stunning. This might be my favorite one today. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. I think this would be such a nice thing to do. It could be a gift, or you could put it on your own table. It was so easy, and it really didn't even take that long. I don't think the pictures do it justice, though.
Standing underneath the lights.
For this Dollar Tree leaf DIY. I've got my little leaves, the colored ones, and then I've got a little bowl also from the Dollar Tree. And I wish I'd had a balloon because I think this would have been easier. So if you decide to try this, I think I would use a balloon. Anyway, I've also got the Mod Podge. I'm going to start Mod Podging leaves to the inside of the bowl. What I'm trying to do is make a bowl out of the leaves, and then I won't use the bowl once it's all done. You'll see. If that doesn't make sense yet, you will see. Anyway, it's just hard to get it to lay down. So I had to saturate this thing so much with the Mod Podge. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Anyway, I did so much Mod Podge and I just kept putting leaves until I covered the whole inside of the bowl. And it's just kind of repetitive. And then I made sure that the very bottom center had quite a few leaves because I wanted that to be thick enough to kind of sustain setting a candle or something inside of it once it's all done. And then I did add some extra leaves up the sides as well because I wanted it to have a little bit of height around the edges. So it didn't seem like the leaves were actually sticking down really well. But what I would do is as it was drying, I would go back with my brush every once in a while and kind of press it down, maybe add a little more of the Mod Podge and just keep doing that over and over. And that seemed to make it lay down better. So I'm not sure if there's a better way, or if not using Mod Podge, maybe I should have used the Beacon Fabric Tack glue, something that dried a little more quickly. That might have been good. I didn't want to do hot glue. That I knew I definitely didn't want to do. But I think this is possible to do with something maybe like Aleene's Tacky glue, something that might dry faster and just stick quicker. That's the issue here, is that the leaves kept popping up. So I had to keep adding more and more Mod Podge. Anyway, it was kind of an experiment. It was just something I really wanted to try. It took a day to dry, but the very bottom, as you see, still is wet. So I just pulled it apart from the bowl, and that part that's at the very bottom of the bowl is just totally wet still. So I tried to dry it once I get this out of here. It does look like a bowl, so that's the good news. And I did the heat tool, trying to dry it, but there was just too much on there. So what I decided to do was take a paper towel and kind of blot at the bottom so that I could get off as much of that Mod Podge that was still wet, and then dry it with the heat tool. And I also let it sit overnight again, and that did the trick. So that's how it works, but I think a balloon would have gone better, and maybe a different glue. Anyway, drying it off again until it's all done. It did turn out really cute. If you're going to put a real candle in there, I would put something down that it can sit on so that it doesn't melt into the leaves or catch anything on fire. But this is just adorable. I love it.
Standing underneath the lights, looking through.
Thank you for watching. You are truly a blessing to me. Let me know which one was your favorite today. I've got another video on the screen that I think you'll really like. So if you click on it, I will see you there. Bye.